Oi, gente! Hoje é vídeo de carona, mas é um de carona super especial. Eu tô aqui no Hotel Fazano, esperando dois atores, na verdade, uma atriz e um ator chiquérrimos internacionais. É a Kaya Scodelario e o Giancarlo Esposito, que estão no filme Maze Runner, e a Fox me convidou para entrevistar eles. Então a gente vai falar sobre o filme, sobre o Brasil, sobre Skins, que ela fez também, sobre Breaking Bad, que foi o Gus, e eu vou levar vocês comigo. Vamos esperar, eles estão terminando de almoçar, e aí a gente vai pro carro. So guys, first of all, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm really happy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure.
And I wanted to know, how is it like to be in Brazil? Is it your first time? I know you've been here before, but for you, Giancarlo?
My first time in Sao Paulo. I love it.
You've been to the Cobra studio, right?
Yeah, we went to Cobra studio yesterday. It was an amazing experience. They let us do a little bit of our own artwork on one of the pieces, so we contributed.
Nice.
It was just wonderful. It's such a energy around it, and yeah, it's an honor.
And is there anything you want to do before you leave, besides all the press and the interviews?
I want to eat more feijão e arroz.
Boa. Good one.
Brigadeiro, pão de queijo, caipirinha. I want to eat.
The food here is really pretty fantastic.
Yes, it's really good. And I know you're half Brazilian, Kaya. So it's how's your relationship with Brazil?
I was raised Brazilian. I always consider my culture much more Brazilian than British. My mum raised me alone, so the food I ate was Brazilian. The music I listened to is Brazilian. My morals are very Brazilian. I speak with my hands. I think I consider myself much more Brazilian than British.
Than British. And do you have any Brazilian habits? Do you live in London or?
I live in New York at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I have many. I speak loudly. I think my fiance could say I'm very passionate and Brazilian and argumentative and opinionated, which I love. I'm very close to my family. I think that's something we get from South America. A lot of Brazilian habits.
E você fala muito bem português?
Eu falo bem. É a minha segunda língua, mas eu gosto de falar em português. Eu fico um pouco nervosa.
Nervosa?
Eu fico um pouco nervosa, mas eu prefiro falar em português.
Mas aqui a gente vai falar inglês.
Por
so we can, Giancarlo. So is it the first time you guys work in a trilogy? How is it like? Is it more pressure because people are always waiting for? I know it's the first time in the Maze Runner. She was in the first movie, but is it more pressure to do? Because everybody's waiting for the next. What's next?
For me, it's the first time to be in more than one of the same film with the same thematic energy going through it, and it is. I spent before I got the first one, I was just thinking about how do I create this character and make him real and different than anything I'd done before. And that now we're at the precipice of the movie coming out in Brazil and coming out in New York, and I realized that the fans really are they're knowledgeable about the books and the series. And so I'm just starting to feel this pressure to deliver. What's the third going to be like? What's it going to be like?
And you have a responsibility because you have to follow what's in.
Yeah.
You have the people wait and they create in their imagination what they expect from the character, right?
Exactly right. And people ask me, what is Jorge going to do? What is Jorge going to do? And I don't quite know which way the script will go, but I do know that the film is, for me, is steeped in such great mythology about human beings and young people, and that it really allows young people to feel like they have a place, and the film is a guide for them to have commitment and to choose a leader and to have a voice. And so for me, I'm feeling like I want the third one to be great, even though the second one is just barely opening.
Do you think your career is going to change anything because after Maze Runner finish?
I think all of us, when we started this, we didn't have any expectations. We didn't do it because we thought it would be a huge success. We did it because we believed in the story, we loved the writing, we loved the morals and what it says about humanity and questioning the system and all these things. And the fans have been so wonderful and so warm and so kind, and we'd love to continue to have their support.
Nice. And how is the preparation for a movie like this? So many action scenes, and do you have to do anything different before workout? I don't know.
I think for us the main challenge was just being in Albuquerque. It's such a high altitude that a lot of us weren't used to. So we were just, trying to get acclimatized to that.
The desert and everything.
And the desert and the conditions. I mean, what I've always said is these kids aren't superheroes. They're normal kids, so they shouldn't look like action heroes. They if we don't run like Tom Cruise, that's okay.
I would agree. I mean, the challenge was to be in the high mountains, and it really is a different, just to breathe, just to walk. So I didn't have a lot of action in this film, but I felt for the young gladers who did and had to run and keep in shape and feel. But I agree with Kaya. I think it's such a point well taken that they're really just human beings, and we all are in that situation. But I try to stay in shape, which is good for my life. So I was halfway there by the time I got there. Thank goodness.
How long did the footage go? How long did you stay?
We were filming for 2.5 months.
2.5 months. Yeah. Yes.
It's a long time. How's the atmosphere on set during these 2 months? How is it?
For me, I thought it was one of the best atmospheres I've been on a movie set.
Aww.
And I mean, it's really the truth.
You became friends?
Yes, I've done close to 75 films, and this seemed to be the most natural and relaxed, and people were actually enjoying conversations having with each other. They weren't nervous. And when the camera rolls, something happens with actors. They try to top each other or be better than, or try to get more lines. There was none of that on this set. People were really just trying to make the script the best it could be committed to what they were doing, and in between really relate to each other. So for me, we also had a great director. Wes Ball is a great director and has a very, very clear attitude about what he wants, but he's also very affable, and you're able to talk to him, and he allows you to experiment. And actors always like to feel like they can do something different than they've done before. And so this feeling on this set was some of the best feeling I've ever experienced, really.
Nice.
Honestly.
Yeah, you have to be friends because you have one more.
Yeah, we were on job together.
There's no choice for you
We
guys.
hope so, yeah.
Hi, how do you? You're gonna start the press tour now, all of you, right?
Yes.
And how do you prepare fashionable talking? Do you have a stylist? Are you into it? How is it?
I have a really wonderful stylist, and what I love about her is that she doesn't just dress me. We communicate, we talk through what my personal style is, what I feel comfortable in, and we kind of really work together to sort of. We have an overall look, but there'll be some days where I just want to wear a leather jacket and jeans, and I want to feel like I'm at home in London. And I also love incorporating what city I'm in. So with São Paulo, I wanted to be in bright colors, and I wanted to feel very Brazilian and free and open. In New York, I like kind of being a bit more grungy. I like heavy boots and things like that. And it can kind of change wherever you are in the world.
So you don't define your style?
I don't define it. No, I think
freestyle.
it's an extension of your personality, and you feel different on different days.
I love your hair.
Thank you.
Giancarlo, this question was supposed to be only for Kaya, but
He's got style. Look at him.
I don't have a stylist.
You were like,
thank you.
Out of all of the boys.
Can you answer the same question about the...
Well, I think about what city I'm going to, and I think about the time of the year, what the climate is. And this time I hit in Sao Paulo, you can never tell. So, but I always want to be kind of snappy. I like being snappy because it makes me feel good.
Yes.
So, but I take great care in trying to figure out, what do I bring? How should I look? But I also want it to be relatable, kind of relatable. So I try to go for the cool look, I think.
Italian.
I'm Italian. That's right, you got it. When you were talking about Portuguese, and it's very, very close to Italian. And so all of Kaya's values that she laid out, I said she could be talking about me.
Yeah,
but
true.
I think the Italian men, they're more edgy. I mean, they try more
they do.
new things. Brazilian is very traditional. Brazilian men
with fashion.
Yes, with fashion.
Oh, I see.
You're a step ahead.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you.
So Kaya, about the skins, you have a lot of skins fans in Brazil.
Yeah.
And your character in the beginning was really shy, and then it grew, and in the end it was one of the main. So how do you miss her, and how was Effie important for your career?
She was very important. I mean, I got so lucky with Skins. It was a project that was tiny when we began. None of us had been to drama school. None of us were trained. We were
How old were you when you?
I was 14 when I started. We
How
were
old
all
are you now? Sorry.
I'm 23. Okay. So almost 10 years. But yeah, we were all the right age, and we were all actually experiencing these things. We were falling in love and having our hearts broken and leaving home and going through all these emotions, and it was just a really edgy show. It didn't try and tell you what to think. It allowed you to decide for yourself, and I think young people really related to that. Os fãs brasileiros são os melhores do mundo.
Né? São muito carinhosos.
Muito carinhosos e suportaram os skins desde o primeiro dia. They've always been there. They've always been the #1 fans, and And she's a huge part of my life, but I've kind of put her to rest now. I'm kind of happy. I'm ready to move on and let that be what it was at the time.
And I heard you are engaged.
I am, yes. Thank you.
Do you know when you're gonna get married?
We're hopefully sometime this year, but we're not sure yet. Yeah.
Do you have any idea of the dress?
I have a very good idea of the dress.
Can you tell me more?
It's kind of princess punk rock.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to do.
That's nice to know. Now, Giancarlo, I have to tell you that I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad.
Oh, thank you.
And that I became an orphan when it finished. And I know you are a producer and director too. And can you tell me the major difference between working on the TV series and in the movie industry?
Yes, there is a big difference. You know, television is very fast, and I find that you have to do everything very quickly. And I love film because you're able to shoot a page or two at the most in a day. And in television, you're doing 6 and 7 pages, so everything is jammed up a little bit. It's the golden age of television because Breaking Bad sort of opened the door, as did The Walking Dead, if you're a zombie fan, and a few other shows really changed the face of television. But I prefer film. I think it's a more workable medium. I think it's a medium that I can express myself in more completely, and that's what I like about film. It's just it gives you a little more breathing room, a little more space to be more specific, and it's a director's medium, so you can take the piece and give an overall feeling or message or whatever you're trying to convey through every character in the piece. So I really enjoy film. Not to say I don't like television. I think it's a great proving ground and it's a great place to work. It's just a little bit. It's a brutal world in television, and it's a producer's world. Film is a director's world.
Do you get bothered when people want to talk us, if they want to talk us?
I don't. I don't. It's funny because people catch up to the show because of Netflix and other venues you could see it on. It's been 5 years for me since I've been there. It's been a long time, 4.5 years. So I've done 4 films in between that, or even more. Just 4 films this year. I don't get testy because people are so galvanized by the subject matter of the show and by the character I created. I think it's an honor.
And they keep watching, like you said. They
watch it over again. So I always ask the question: did you watch it in real time or did you binge it? And people are oftentimes honest, but I'm very proud of it. So I'm happy to talk about it.
Would you do a spin-off?
I would do a spin-off. I mean, there's always been the sort of the rumor that I would be in You Better Call Saul. And they've come to me and talked to me, and then they said no, maybe not, and the further away I get from it, the less I'm inclined to do it, because I feel like Gus is iconic, and it's so hard to go back and try to recreate, to do it again. So I wouldn't go back and do just one. I would think it's a fan tease and it teases me. But if it were more than one, I would think about it. Sure.
He's too strong to do one.
Yes, I agree. I want to have my own show called The Rise of Gus. This is what I think is the way to do it.
Petition right now.
My husband Diego, we are like this.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, but now about Jorge, right? In Maze Runner. How do you expect for him to be in the 3rd movie?
I don't know what they have planned, but I always want to have a little more screen time and to develop the character more, if that's a possibility. I like that he's a leader. I like that he has this woman that he is sort of raised up, but that he could have a love interest toward, but he more than likely is a fatherly figure for her. I like that he's stood out and he stands on his own. He created a place to survive. I love that he's a survivor and that he's smart, and that he's also erudite and well-read. So I'm hoping that he would aid Thomas in taking down Ava Page.
Nice. Let's see.
We'll see.
We'll see. So guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure.
Muito obrigada, Kaya.
Obrigada a você.
Eu queria que você mandasse um beijo para os fãs brasileiros.
Um beijo grande para os fãs brasileiros. Te amo.
And Giancarlo, you too.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Obrigado.
Obrigada. Tchau, gente. Não se esqueçam de se inscrever no canal e curtir esse vídeo, tá bom? Um beijo e até a próxima.